Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today's guest is Erin Frigo. She is an investor and a syndicator. She has 266 stores, multifamily. She's also interested in other asset classes. And very, very importantly, she comes from a background where she had no real estate experience. And I really love that because I think, if she can do it, anyone can. So let's hear from Erin. Erin, anything else you want to add there to that little intro of mine?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, Hugo. No, that was great. That was great. And I love how you stress the fact that you don't have to come from real estate to get on board with real estate. You can come from a different background. So, like you
Yep.
said, if I can do it, your viewers
Anyone
can do it.
can. Yep, yep.
Yes.
So, all right. So, everyone, tune in, pay attention carefully. Let's see what we can learn from Aaron. So, Aaron, why don't we start with, okay, so, how did you first get into real estate? What inspired you? And, what was the aha moment where a light bulb went off in your head and you decided to maybe, let's say, kind of focus on multifamily, at least initially?
That's a great question. During the pandemic, I was when we're at home and we're all locked up and we're like doing our things at home and we're trying to keep our minds busy. I wanted to use that time, that valuable real estate time
Hmm.
to do something better for myself. And here in America, our schooling system, they don't teach us about finance. They don't
Yep.
teach us about investing. They don't teach us a lot of things that we could use later on, when we're adults.
Hmm.
So I got to this program that I saw. It was two friends. One is from Harvard and one is from, I forgot where her friend went to school, but they put this program together right before the pandemic started, and then it
Hmm.
took off the pandemic. I think it was like 2019. And it was about, women in finance.
Yep.
Because, here in America, stereotypically, the man is the provider in the family. He handles the finances and the bills. And I was like, no, I want to learn too.
Hmm.
So, so I took their course, and of course, it was online.
Yep.
And I started learning, and it was eye-opening.
Hmm.
And once a month, they would have guests come on. And one time, one of the guests were two people that eventually became my mentors.
Hmm.
And they were talking about multifamily as an
Yep.
investment for anybody, but especially for women, for females.
Hmm.
And so I was on that call that day, and that was just eye-opening. So for me, an aha moment was listening to them and learning that simply by, moving some of my, my provision, my wherewithal, my money to something like investing in apartments, what that could do for me.
Hmm.
And hmm, I started to think about it. And then a few months down the road, I learned that they had a program. Like Rod always says, or people always say the algorithm is listening. Then
Hmm.
they came to my feed like on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I remember them. Oh, they have a course. So then I signed up for their like 1 week boot camp, and then their mentorship. But this is before I knew about Rod. This is
Yep.
before I knew Rod. Otherwise, I probably would have went with Rod. They were great though. They were instrumental in teaching me about multifamily, and I had no idea. I do have to say, Hugo, I always wanted to invest,
Hmm.
just didn't know it was going to be real estate.
Yep.
But I'm very glad that they came into my feed and they were in that women's investor course at the time, a finance course,
Hmm.
and so glad because that was my entryway into real estate through their multifamily.
Okay, great, great, great. Sounds like quite a journey, and I'm also glad that you got into that. Okay. So can you walk us through your first multifamily deal? And don't leave anything out. We want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Yeah.
Sure,
Everything
absolutely.
you're comfortable sharing.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go
No, no,
ahead.
I'll be as transparent to, for your viewers as possible. That's how we learn. Mine was through that first mentorship.
Hmm.
6 months into their course, I was, they always talk about, and Rod does too, talks about being an LP, a limited partner,
Yep.
and doing that first, because then when you become, hopefully your goals are to become a general partner, a GP, you'll know what it's like for your investors,
Hmm.
and you'll remember that journey. So I did that first. I came into a limited partner position on BTR, which is a build to rent.
Hmm.
So that's a property in the my sweet spot, which is the Southeast. So it's in Texas,
Yep.
118 unit townhouse built from the ground up. And I'm really glad because I just got the update yesterday. They're great. They're great. They do monthly updates, which I
Hmm.
learned or on my GP spots. Always keep your investors, up to date.
Yes.
But it's a great, great property. I get to see from everything underground all of a sudden to, coming above ground and then what it's going to look like when it's finally done for people to move in. And they're individually deeded, so if somebody wanted to, purchase their own, um, yeah. So really glad that I did that first. Um, yeah, that's my first one. It was an LP.
Okay. Okay. All right. How about your first one as a GP?
Ooh, yeah. My first, I did the co-GP route.
Hmm.
My first one was also in Texas.
Okay.
Uh, that was 6 months after that. So I
Okay.
want your listeners to know that I started a mentorship. Within 6 months, I was in my first LP.
Hmm.
Couple months after that, I met the people who were going to be the lead on my co-GP spot,
Right.
4 months after that.
Yeah.
So inside of 6 months, I had two properties from 6 months from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a really, really, really great deal. What I loved about it was also in Texas. It's a 148 unit Class B value add.
Hmm.
Um, I love the fact that it was 30 years old and never been renovated. The person who owned it, same owner for
Yeah.
30 years,
Okay.
took really good care of it. They said it was a diamond in the rough. Honey, they were not lying. It was, I'm telling you, Hugo, it was great. It was like same owner and just kept it up really nice, but no renovations were done.
Yeah.
So for us buying it, that was really great because, we can renovate what we want and then leave, some meat on the bones for the people on the exit
Next.
who are going to come
Yep.
after
Yep.
us. But yeah, and it was just great condition. Um, I guess for me, I had met the people who are the lead on the team, on the general partnership team
Hmm.
at a meetup,
Yep.
and it was in Houston. 4 months before that, and was talking to them. I was introduced to them, and me and this other girl in my class, I talked to her afterwards, and I said I would love to partner with them someday, just because you kind of like Rod always talks about, you get a gut feeling.
Hmm.
I got a really got a good gut feeling about them, but of course, I also vetted them and checked them out,
Right.
and how many deals, and they'd gone full cycle, all of that. But 4 months down the road, they had a deal.
Hmm.
And I had been following them on social media, kind of letting them know that I'm here. I'm available to partner with, right team.
Yep.
Great team to start off with, Hugo. Great team. Um, our mentor at the time said, you girls should offer yourselves up as like co-GP and offer to come on as capital raisers.
Hmm.
So and uh we emailed them and they said yes.
Yep.
So that was our first co-GP, and we came on as capital raisers. I guess the good, the bad, ugly. I don't know if there's really any ugly. I guess I would say that on that I learned the ugly part for me as a capital raiser.
Hmm.
You have to let people know, Hugo, what you do.
Yeah.
Uh, in my other work that I do, I'm also in entertainment out here. I live in Los Angeles, by the way.
Hmm.
I'm here and went to school I'm an actor. And they always say that, you can't be a success if you're a secret.
Yep.
And I honestly have to say the same thing.
Hmm.
It holds true in real estate. You can't be a success if you're a secret. So
Yeah.
on that first capital raise, since wasn't telling everybody, I didn't have that great runway of people because it was a
Right.
501(b), so that's
Okay.
family and
Right.
I didn't have those people, all my friends and people in the other industry that I'm part of, they didn't know that I was doing it. A
Hmm.
couple of close friends, but not enough to, capital raise from.
Yep. Yep.
And so that just made the capital raise a little bit of a little bit slower and a little bit of a challenge.
But you made it. You made it. So
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I'm glad for the capital raise and glad to have gone through the experience.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, nothing ugly there. You're right. You're right. So, but that's good.
Learning.
Not every deal has to have something, terrible. So that's good news. Okay.
Yeah.
So how has your strategy evolved since that first deal? For example, with like, let's talk about deal criteria.
Hmm. Well, I guess, we talk about our deal box, and mine is, going is mostly in the southeast,
Hmm.
the southern states, Texas, Arizona, possibly Georgia. I know Rod's big in it in Florida.
Atlanta,
Um,
Florida. Okay.
yeah, and my first criteria, like I was looking there, 100 plus units, because you can see like my first two are over 100.
Yep.
I know a lot of people, Rod talks about like a muscle you got to build to get to the larger ones. For me, that's what I was taught from the
Hmm.
beginning. So I
Hmm.
don't think anything other than, that. People always say, how come you don't want to start smaller? Um, like on a 10 unit or 20 or 30 or 45, nothing wrong with those. These are just what I started with. What I've learned, would I start with an 80 or 90 on a deal? Would I do a next deal where it's 80 or 90 and not over 100? Sure.
Hmm.
Would I do one that's not in the southeast? Absolutely, because I see some diamonds. I hear about some people say, "Oh, we found one in North Carolina," which is not normally where I would invest. Not
Right.
saying I would, but I'm like, "Wow, what is that little town called? But has how many people? And
Hmm.
what's the metro? And wait, 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 there's no more coming online,
Hmm.
no more apartments. And this is a what? Let's look into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I would
Okay.
never say never. So yes, I would look outside my box, literally outside my
Hmm.
deal box.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. That's good. And then how about like your has your risk tolerance shifted or changed at all since the first deal?
Risk tolerance. I know that the first couple deals, were underwritten very conservatively, but I aggressively jumped into them because
Hmm.
I know that they like, especially if you're new to something, you can sit on the sidelines and study it, which you should definitely educate
Do.
yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
But you can always stay on the side and just be like, like you're ready to, you ever play jump rope
Uh-huh.
and somebody's doing the
Oh,
jump rope and
somebody's
you're
like getting ready to
getting in,
get in. Yeah.
this
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah. Yeah.
getting in,
Yeah.
gonna get, oh wait, hold on,
Uh-huh.
wait till they go. And then you're waiting to get in. You can be on the sidelines who go waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
And time goes by. So I would say that the first two I jumped in aggressively, and I'm so blessed and fortunate to have gotten on really good teams
Hmm.
with really smart people. And they say leverage your team. That's what I definitely am doing. And they say to do that, Rod says leverage your team. So
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. It's a
but
team
now,
sport. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And I wanted to be smart about it. And I knew I was in really good hands. Right now, am I aggressively jumping into deals? No. And each deal that I look at or is talking about underwriting is very conservative.
Hmm.
Like I know some people they fly with like 3 months reserves. For me, it's 6 months
6 months.
reserves.
Yeah. 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 6 months is
Absolutely.
much better.
Yes, and just really conservative. And I don't jump into every deal, especially now, with the economy and what's going on in the world.
Yep.
Um, just really looking at things conservatively and seeing where I want to, place my time and effort and, finances because I invest in all my deals.
Okay, okay. I like that, by the way. I like that very much. Okay, so one more question here is about how about your mindset? Has your mindset undergone any shifts or changes since your first deal?
Oh wow, yeah, yes. Well, I had great people. I was under their tutelage and their mindset was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
They always talked about Tony Robbins, and I know Rod talks about Tony Robbins, and I got to
Yep.
go see him right after his boot camp last year. And Tony Robbins' mindset is great, and then it leaked over onto me. But even before that, I have a lot of people say, "Oh, that's impossible." I like to
Mm-hmm.
break that up and say, I'm possible or it's
Mm-hmm.
possible.
Yeah.
Everything is possible. I was listening to Les Brown. He's a great motivational speaker right before we jumped on, and he talks about how things are that are impossible to a lot of people. I try to make them possible.
Yep.
Um, I don't, and I don't follow my thinking doesn't follow along the lines of a lot of people I'm finding.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I just have a different kind of mindset. And wherever it lacks, I try to feed it with positive things or things where people have gone before me and eat up their experience and let it feed me.
Yep.
Um, I know that there's more for me in real estate. My mindset is not just multifamily, it's branched off, which we can talk about later, into other things as well.
Hmm.
Uh, but definitely, it's always reaching for more because if you get comfortable and you get complacent, that's where things die. There's no growth there.
Yeah.
Always be reaching for more. I'm always wanting more, not complaining where I'm at, but knowing there's more out there and doing my best not to be afraid to go after it. And they say if you do feel a sense of fear, they say do it scared anyway.
Anyway. Okay, okay. I like that. I
So
like that.
I gotta eat my own words on that, Erin. Do it scared anyway.
All right, cool. All right, okay. So, hey, if you've got a real estate deal, a problem, or even just a question, we want to hear about it. Doesn't matter if it's big, small, complicated, ugly, or somewhere in between. If it's a good deal, we're absolutely interested. Period. And if you've got capital, you need to put to work in solid real estate opportunities. We've got those too. Either way, let's talk. Here's how this works. We always need more deals. We always need more capital. And we always find a way to make it happen. No games, no runaround. If we can't work together directly, we'll hand deliver you to someone who can. Next category is let's go into tips and pitfalls. So I want to know like what are your lessons around let's say finding deals?
Finding deals. Like I mentioned before, that gold can be found where you least expect it,
Mm-hmm.
looking outside of your deal box. Um, Finding deals. Keep at it, you know.
Yep.
You got to keep looking and you can't have a sense of defeatedness
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, they say what do they say? You know, underwrite or you look for or you look at 150, 200, 250 deals before you find one,
Yep.
you know, before one pencils out. So just being consistent, not being afraid to look at other people's deals as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, two eyes is good, but having more eyes, you know, on a team is even better.
Yep.
But just being consistent and not giving up.
Okay.
He that seeks finds.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay. And then what about your tips and pitfalls around operating or executing once you've gotten into the deal?
Operating. I would say just gotten, oh, once I've gotten, I was going to say before that, you know, make sure you vet your team.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Definitely vet your team.
I'll take that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, vet your team, and operate with, you know, your operators checking out, maybe getting two or three that you're looking at and interviewing them.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if they have asset classes that you are, you know, the one you're looking at, if they've operated some of those before. Because if they
Yep.
haven't, if
There might
they're
be a
apples
problem.
and
Yeah.
oranges, yeah, it could be. There might be a better fit. Um, Definitely when you're running it, keeping your investors informed and
Mm-hmm.
also being transparent with them, you
Yeah.
know, in case hopefully someday, you know, if you would have to have a capital call, you could be upfront about that. But just letting them know, what's going on with the deal. Frequent conversations once a month,
Mm-hmm.
at least a letter or an email once a week or every other week, a quick email like, hey, this is where we're at. This is the percentage that we're done with, you know, the renovations or whatever, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. Um, yeah, and I would say as far as like funding, funding is a big deal. I'd say get creative with the funding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just know that there's a possible way to make your deals happen with the creative financing. There's a lot of great people that really know how to put a deal together. So leveraging your team to
Yep.
make your dream deal, you know, come true.
Okay. All right. And then I know you haven't, like gone full cycle and exited any deals as yet, but I know that you've also thought about it. Like, for example, you're talking about, you guys are going to renovate some of the units, but you're also going to leave some other units unrenovated for like the next person to come in and do so that they have room to raise rents on those units as well. So,
Yeah.
what are your tips and pitfalls? Anything else you want to add about like exiting the deal?
You pretty much mentioned, you know, without getting, you know, deep into it, but definitely from the beginning when you're underwriting the deal, making sure that you're, you know, you're all pumped about, oh, what can we buy it for? And, you know, what are the returns going to be? But you also have to look at what, you know, like what the exit cap rate and all that good stuff will be at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to make sure that Yes, you leave meat on the bone for, especially if it's a value add for the new buyer to, to want to bite.
Yep.
But just looking at your exit strategies, what are the options that we
Mm-hmm.
have in 5 years, which is pretty
Yep.
much what I do, like 5-year holds, if not sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But just making sure you have viable options, so you're not, stuck holding it longer if that's not, what you desire, what you've also told the
Investors.
investors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So now let's move on to the rapid fire round. Don't think too much. Just speak whatever comes to whatever comes to your mind. All right.
Okay.
Regardless. Okay. I don't care about whatever language you use. Everything is okay. We don't censor anyone here.
Okay.
Um. So, what is your favorite expense saving hack?
Ooh, favorite expense saving hack would probably be, um, oh, you said real quick, parking to gain more NOI, parking, putting in some simple lines and charging what, 25, $50 more a month.
Yep.
Um, I know you can have pets, charging for pets, but also a DIY pet station
Mm-hmm.
that lets the tenants know that you care that they have pets and you want to take care of them. Charge them X amount a month and have a pet station there that they can wash their own pets there.
Okay. Yeah. All
That's
right.
kind of
Cool.
like thinking outside the box. Yeah, storage lockers, of course, rubs,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
washer and dryer.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. There's many, many, many. All right. And then, so there's a lot of advice floating around in the real estate space. What do you think is some of the most overrated advice with respect to real estate?
I'd say overrated. They say like Class A might be better, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more expensive to buy and to build. But nothing wrong with Class B and C, value add.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that at all, with working class tenants. That equals, more stable income.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And another thing is, when the economy turns, people
Uh-huh.
might move down from Class A to Class B or Class B to Class C. So you're maybe safer in any kind of economy. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway. And then how about underrated advice?
Underrated. Underrated would be buy real estate. Um, and wait. A lot of
Hmm.
people think you should wait to buy real estate,
Yeah.
but actually, time's going to pass anyway. So why not buy it now and then wait while it's appreciating and while you're getting cash flow
Yeah.
instead of being on the outside and waiting for that time to jump in, right? When you
Hmm.
could be getting cash flow and you could be getting, part of a cost seg study done,
Yeah.
and having that show up nicely on your taxes, on a K-1. Um, yeah, also I would say walking your property at night is
Hmm.
underrated.
Okay.
Because you're going to see a different class of or you can see different tenant behaviors. Um, you see different safety issues, different red flags than you would see during the day.
Yeah.
Also, oh, when you're on site, when you're walking a property, I would definitely say talk to somebody who's outside that lives there
Hmm.
because they're going to tell you things that the brokers or the sellers might not tell you. And that will just kind of give you a better picture of, the
What's
property that
going
you're
on
looking
there? Yep. Yep. Okay. What do you think is like your superpower or like your unfair advantage?
at. I would say my people say my energy
Hmm.
level, my mindset, and then the sense of resiliency that I have, the bounce back that I have, the what do you call it?
Yeah.
Stick with itness,
Okay.
stick to itiveness.
Yeah. I got it. I
Yeah.
got it. Okay. Cool. Now I don't like to use the word regret. But if you could go back, what is one thing that you would do differently?
Uh, well, I guess it's something, if you don't know, you don't know. But had I known, I would have wanted to look into investing sooner
Hmm.
because then maybe I could have found real estate sooner
Yep.
and be further in my real estate journey because there's so many great deals out there, so many great asset classes.
Yep.
But I didn't know because we were not taught
Good
that.
thought. Yeah. Do you know what is a very common theme? Every time I ask, not every time, but very commonly when I ask this question, people, the general theme or the general consensus is start earlier, start earlier, start earlier. So yeah,
Yeah.
for anyone listening, start earlier. Anyway, okay. Um, and
Because
then
now start earlier.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know
exactly,
earlier.
exactly. The best time to start was like 10 years ago. Next best time to start is right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, and then what's your what's your best advice for new investors? New investors here can mean someone who wants to invest actively, but it can also be someone who wants to invest passively.
I would say definitely educate yourself.
Hmm.
Educate yourself through podcasts such as this. There's YouTube channels devoted to real estate or whatever asset class you want to get into. I would definitely say get a mentor
Hmm.
to be under the tutelage of somebody who's done what you want to do and at a
Yeah.
level that you want to do.
Yeah,
Um, Rod or the
yeah,
people, even my mentors before, and whoever the mentor is, just make sure that they're doing what you want to do and at the level that you want to do.
yeah.
Don't get caught up in analysis paralysis. Um, Jump in, surround your people. Surround yourself with people who are doing what you want. So that would mean like real estate meetups
Hmm.
because you're going to meet people. That's how I heard about, the mentorships.
Right.
We're talking about it like after the presenter presents, you kind of go into your groups and you network.
Hmm.
I kept hearing them say, the name of our group, the Warriors, and I was like, what?
Warriors,
Who's
what's that?
Warrior? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, next month would come on and I'd go back to it again and say, what's Warrior? There it is again. So that puts you in, they say what your net worth is the closest five to the five people around you, your five closest friends.
Hmm.
So if you're, around people like that, not only going to bring up your net worth, but just your knowledge base and
Yeah.
who's doing it in the business at the level you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then take massive freaking action with what you've
Oh
learned.
yeah, 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 definitely. You got to take action. If you know you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't put it into practice, what the heck is the point? Yeah.
Right.
A quick rant or something I want to add to that is like I really, really don't understand the mentality of some people. Um, I've spoken to some people online, whatever else, wherever else, and like a lot of people seem to be like a little bit anti mentor or like anti education, which I for the life of me I cannot understand. But I
Mm.
think exactly what you said, I 100% agree with. If you want to learn something, the best way to do it, the best way to get into something is to find someone who has done what you want to do. They're doing it at the level that you want to do it at, and then ask them for advice. You don't ask people for advice who have never done what you want to do because what advice are they going to give you? They're probably going to say, "Oh, don't do it." So, anyway, whatever.
Yes, yes.
Rant over.
Yep.
Okay, so
There's always those people, but then,
yeah, whatever. They can live their own lives. So is there anything that I didn't ask you that you think, that you think the audience might have wanted me to ask, or you wish I asked you?
yes, I wish you would have asked me what other asset classes am I
Oh, okay.
interested
So,
in? And there's
so what
two
other
right.
asset classes are you interested in?
Um, no, yeah, thank you. Because I'm diversifying. I still do multifamily, but also too, um, diversifying into assisted living facilities
Mm-hmm.
and then mobile home park. And they're
Okay.
at opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
Opposite ends, one is for, they say the silver tsunami, what, 10,000 people every day
Per
turning
day.
over
Yeah,
65.
65. Yeah.
And there's a need for those beds. There's not enough beds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real and for me, I would feel really good knowing that I am providing for somebody's parents or somebody's grandparents a nice, well-maintained and well functioning and well-run um, facility for them to live in.
Yep.
That gives me purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Not just all this as a business, I have a purpose. And on the other end of the spectrum, Hugo, mobile home parks, you can see what's going on in the economy. Uh, we need affordable housing.
Yep.
And a lot of people look down on mobile home parks, but they are one of the best assets to invest in, like the best returns in
Mm-hmm.
multifamily.
Yep.
Even Warren Buffett, he invests in, I think, the making of the mobile home unit, the
Mm-hmm.
manufactured homes, because
Yep.
he knows that that's an excellent market.
Yep.
And for people to spend a lot less rent, and I could serve that population as well, and where they live, make that a nice community and
Mm-hmm.
have them feel proud of where they live and a respectful place to live. They deserve to have a good place to live as well, too. But the returns, if somebody's only looking at that, are incredible.
Okay.
And a
Maybe
lot of people
I
don't
have to
know
take a
that.
closer look. Yeah, that's me. I don't know.
Judge it.
I got to take a close look at
Absolutely.
mobile home parks
Yes,
then. Yeah. Okay. Okay, fair enough. All
absolutely.
right. All right. So, Erin, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And if someone, if someone maybe listening today thought, oh, Erin makes a lot of sense. I want to reach out to her. Maybe they want to mentor. Maybe they just want to ask you some questions. Maybe they want to invest with you. What's the best way for someone to get in touch with you?
Thank you. They can reach me on my website, which is cashflowwealthbuilder.com
Hmm.
with no S, Cashflow Wealth Builder. And on Instagram, I'm on Instagram a lot. Cashflow Wealth Builder is my handle. And Facebook and YouTube is Cashflow Wealth Builders with an S on those two.
Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'll put those in the bottom of the screen as well, and in the description so everyone can, find it easily. All right. So again, thank you very much. I really hope that I can invite you back like maybe 6 months, 12 months later to kind of see, how things have changed, what you're doing and so on, because I want to see people's progress over time, not just one static shot, but I want to see how people are, changing over time and what new lessons they have. Yeah.
Yes. Sounds
Okay.
great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you,
All right.
Hugo.
So
Thanks
thank
for
you very
having
much
me.
for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.